The center is extremely important to me, and I'd like to give you some reasons why. A successful center benefits us all. It's the glue that holds us together and a home base for all of us. The center celebrates diversity better than any other organization. We come from everywhere. We come from different life experiences, all neighborhoods, all races, and certainly all sexual orientations. We run the gamut from soup to nuts, and we can argue among us who is the soup and who are the nuts, and I can guarantee you we will not agree. I simply can't imagine ourselves without a center, and I'm proud to have volunteered and will continue supporting it.
One of the things I'm most proud about this center is its commitment to the LGBT youth. And not only am I proud of the Hillcrest Youth Center, which provides a place for all youth to go, but I'm especially committed to supporting the Sunburst Apartments, which provides housing for 23 formerly homeless and at risk of homelessness youth. And I know in Sunburst housing we have saved lives, we have rescued people from the streets. And for me it's a very personal issue because Tony and I have a 24-year-old gay nephew, and but for the Hillcrest Youth Center and but for the support of our community, he could have been one of those kids that ended up at Sunburst housing. And I think for all of us, we have to remember that our youth are very vulnerable, and that just being a young adult is a challenge enough. Layer on top of that coming out or issues of sexual identity, and the center is that safety net for this very vulnerable population.
The center belongs to everyone, and I Belong was a way of showing people that whether they were using the center or not using the center, they needed to help support the center in one way or another, whether volunteering or donating money for what it does give to the community. I think the center offers a lot to people, from anywhere from the youth center to a meeting place for people to multiple different programs they have, but it takes the whole community to make it what it is, and the more people that are involved, whether it's just giving $5 to $100 a month, the cost of a cocktail in the I Belong program really does mean a lot to the center.
I joined the board in 2001 at the request of some friends. The center was in a lot of need at that time. The board was much smaller, the organization was in trouble, and it's been a great pleasure in my life to see it really thrive over 10 years due to the community support, and see the community support the center, and then the center be strong and healthy enough to give back to the community and offer services in kind. And at the time, and we were not as healthy as we are today, there was discussion about public policy and whether or not we should have that as a program. And obviously the mindset at that point was that we should not be taking on additional responsibilities to the point we were in financially. And it's turned out to be one of the brighter spots for the center's decade of service. It's been something that's been allowed us to play a leadership role in Don't Ask, Don't Tell, in marriage equality, and to better inform all of our local elected appointed officials about the needs of our community and position our community better in the San Diego community.
In terms of my personal involvement with the center, my greatest sense of pride comes from the increased sense of collaboration and coordination that I see in the LGBT community and that we're all experiencing. I'm a firm believer in the fact that together we can accomplish so much more than we can individually, and that the whole is much greater than the sum of its parts. So when I became chair, a number of us came together to form an organization that became the LGBT Community Leadership Council. That organization consists of almost 50 groups, both LGBT organizations and our allies. We meet every month to coordinate our activities, to be able to leverage the scarce resources everyone has, and most importantly, to work on issues of public policy that we all share in common. The Community Leadership Council has been together for over 7 years. We continue to meet monthly, and despite great change in our community and in our country, the organization continues to thrive. When it was formed, and still, it is the largest such ongoing collaborative effort in the country, and I'm very proud of that.
You know, I think that having been board chair for 3 years, it allowed me to do a lot of different things. I was on the board for 7. I kind of joke with Dolores that 1 year of the center is like a dog year. It's like, it feels like 7. One of the things that as being an advocate, all of the work that we did with marriage for all of the years that we did and continue to do has been really fulfilling. Watching our community gather and the center facilitating the gathering of our community before the City Council to explain the importance of marriage to all of us. Watching the City Council come together and having a resolution in favor of same-sex marriage, and then also a resolution against Proposition 8. You know, I really think that the center is the local organization that helps connect all of the other organizations here in San Diego, and then also throughout the state of California. We participate with the larger organizations in California. That's been terrific to watch. I've had so many amazing moments as a member of the center's board and as the chair of the board. It's really an amazing organization.
It was a great experience. You know, I served on the board for 5 years. That's a lot of galas and a lot of rallies and community events and fundraising, but it was all great preparation for what I get to do today in terms of, you know, learning my voice as an activist, learning how to build a coalition, to talk about public policy in a way that feels connected to the community and to real lives of people that I now serve. But I think my involvement was more around the beefing up of our public policy department and around the creation of the Youth Housing Project, which obviously are two things that I'm passionate about, whether it's politics and affordable housing. But, you know, in both cases, you know, as we kind of emerged from the aftermath of 2000 and the passage of Proposition 22, to say that, you know, we're not just going to accept that result, we're going to organize and work hard so that we can come back and be successful in the future, I think was a wise move, and that's something the center did. And so we may have lost the Knight Initiative in 2000, but, you know, we've worked hard subsequently on the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and repealing that bad piece of legislation, to our work on marriage. And I think that all came out of our public policy department here locally.
In 2008 and 2009, when I was chair, we faced some real tough experiences. The Proposition 8 campaign was a hard-fought battle and a hard loss for us to take. And it was followed immediately by the largest economic downturn since the Great Depression. The center had to respond immediately, and our community responded immediately. So I learned a lot about the resiliency of the people that involve themselves with the center. People who may get knocked down, but they don't get knocked out. People who could put in a second effort, and that's what the center means to me. It also is a place where people can come to celebrate victories or mourn our losses. And I'm very proud to be associated with the center and proud of the work the center continues to do for our community.
So for me, one of the reasons I love the center is that it is the heart of our community. It brings us together in times of crisis, in times of celebration, in times of community mourning, in times of community joy. You know where to go. You go to the center. When you're there and you're all standing and you're packed in the room and you've got someone on the stage and talking about something that matters, whether it be a horrible incident that's affecting us all, or a wonderful moment for our rights moving forward, or something that draws us together in community. This is where you go. This is where you go when something happens. We're the heart of our community. And even if you never come to the center to receive any kind of direct service, although we have lots, you know, we have the Cyber Center, we have behavioral and mental health, we have Latino services, we have family matters, we have so many powerful and wonderful things that happen here. But maybe none of those things draw you in. What draws you in is, this is the center of our community. This is the heart of our community. And that's why I'm really proud to have served during this decade, to have been a part of the incredible growth of the community since we moved into this physical space. We've been in this space for a little over a decade, and it has helped us evolve as a community. If we didn't have the center, would we be who we are in San Diego? I don't think so. I think the center has helped define this community in some very real ways. And that's something that will continue to carry us on in the next decade.